I had to come up with something. I want you to take time out first and foremost, if you don't mind. Just introduce yourself. Tell the people who you are, where you're from, and give us just a little bit of history on Women Enuff Incorporated.
Absolutely. Well, my name is Deidra Collins. I am a Zion native. Go ZBs. Woo. I attended Zion Benton Township High School.
Wow.
I created Women Enuff initially, Women Enuff was created in 2009.
Okay.
And it was created with the thought of resources and referrals and actually having someone there that cared. I had my son when I was 14 years old, so I was very, very young.
Right.
The resources in our area and just the things that I needed to be successful were somewhat scarce in my eyes.
Okay.
It could be I just wasn't looking hard enough too, but in my eyes, they were very scarce within our community.
Okay.
So when I was 24 years old, my son at the time was 10 years old, 10 years later, obviously, I made it a point to say, you know what, there may not be the resources that are needed. However, in the past 10 years, I have learned so much. I have grown so much. I have, been educated on so much that what good is it if I don't share it with others that need it?
Right.
So when I opened Women Enuff, I opened it in mind with, with women, teen moms, teens, things of that nature, anything that I could truly relate to. I mean, it started with me just gathering clothing and baby items and couches and things like that. And the very first event that I had was on the front lawn of my house at 2214 Horeb Avenue, where I used to live way back when. And I had a huge event on the lawn, just collecting all of these items and allowing the community to just come and grab what they needed.
Wow.
No money, no donations, no nothing. Just come get what you need. If you need something that is here, we as a community have put this together and we want you to benefit from it.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well,
so
you know what's amazing? Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. I was just going to say, so throughout the years, the programming that we have have grown to incorporate in Women Enuff has come from real life experiences, things that I've seen, things that I've been through, things I've noticed with teens and, needing certain programming to become successful. So really that's what Women Enuff is about. It's really about being woman enough to make a difference, regardless of what that entails.
Well, first and foremost, let me thank you, Deidra, for taking a few minutes out of your time to speak to me on such a spontaneous moment. I had a son who just graduated from Zion Benton High School, and he has went on to just graduated from boot camp over at West Point Army Academy. Praise God for that. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Outstanding. As a matter of fact, family just got back last night from the graduation. And also went to Zion Benton High School, just so you know.
ZB.
Yeah. Now, I don't know. I wasn't a ZB, but I tip my hat off to those that are and was, okay? This is awesome. Again, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dudes and dudettes, we are grateful, we're honored, we're privileged to have this young lady on the line with us on today. Of course, she didn't have to do it, but she did, and we cannot thank her enough. Deidra Collins, president, founder, Women Enuff Incorporated. Now, where exactly are you located, Deidra?
So Women Enuff does not per se have a set location.
Okay.
When I created Women Enuff, I actually made it my business to not have a physical location because we wanted to go where the need was and not the need come to us.
Wow. Awesome.
So, yeah, that was kind of our thinking on that.
Well, that's smart. You know what? And the reason I say that is because in today's society, You have to be on the move. You have to be willing to move around a little bit. And of course, our network, our broadcast network, has been labeled as a gospel radio television broadcast network, global mobile media ministry. And
Wow.
they have labeled us that. They gave that name to us. We didn't give it to ourselves. And I'm like, why do you call us mobile? They said, because you're more than an outreach. You move around. I mean, I preach in several locations. We reach out to people all around the world. And that's what that reminds me of. You cannot afford to continue to have an 8-track ministry in an iPad world. You have to
Wow.
move around, talk to people, deal with people, meet people, greet people, and relate to people right where they are. And a lot of times people won't walk into your place of business because they're either intimidated or they're ashamed. But when you take it to them, you might see somebody on the streets. Like you said, you had that event when you first got started and people just show up and take what you need.
Yeah.
We should have that attitude every day.
Absolutely.
But we don't.
Absolutely.
We don't. But in the meantime, we are grateful. Now, do you have a website available for people that I know you have an awesome event coming up that we're going to be talking about soon and very soon here. But do you have a website where people can go and learn more about Women Enuff Incorporated?
I do, absolutely. So our website is www.womenenuff, and that's spelled, it's plural, WOMEN, and enough is spelled ENUFF. So it's www.womenenuff.org.
Let me write that down because you know me, I mean, I'm an English major. I'll be like ENOUGA. No. So I want to make sure I get it all together. I believe I first heard about you from Mr. McIntyre over at Switch Lanes organization.
Yes, yes.
He talked to me about you tremendously, and he said, man, this is a young lady you really need to reach out to yesterday. And I said, you know what? In God's time, it won't be my time, but in God's time, I said, I believe in my spirit. And then I ran into this flyer. I'm going to put it on the screen. When I looked at the flyer, I first recognized Miss Newsome, and then I recognized Barbara Young. When I saw Barbara Young on there, I said, wow, what is she doing? Because she's always doing something. I'm the last one to know. I'm broadcasting now on 8 networks simultaneously. I got my own Comcast program. I got my own YouTube channel. I got my own this. I'm the only network in the country that broadcasts on Facebook 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I said, why am I the last to know? But then I found out that it was not her program. But of course, Barbara is the mother of my nephews, my brother's children. And, that's just like, that just kind of blew me away right there. I'm like, okay, whoever this is, whoever's doing this, I am going to be a blessing to them one way or the other. And immediately I picked up the phone and I reached out, and here you are. Unmasked.
And we're thankful.
Amen.
For sure. I mean, we just posted it today, really just giving the details of the speakers, and we are absolutely thankful for the response that we're getting already. So.
Well, it's going to be a tremendous event. So I have been one to get smart. I got to find my way in now. Before it gets too big, because eventually you would have had to move it from the Milan over to the Genesee Theater. You do realize that, don't you?
I do.
Yeah.
Over the past couple of years, we've had to move twice now.
Wow.
So we are we're hoping that it does throughout time move to the Genesee Theater. That is our hope, and eventually we're hoping to even be somewhere closer to the United Center. So
amen. Well, I'm working on an event now. I'm telling you, I'm working on it a year in advance, and it is huge. Bring Your Own Praise, the event. I'm looking at the Genesee Theater, and I'm also looking at incorporating individuals like yourself to bring who you are and what you have to offer to the community, so we could reach out to our community in a huge way. More details on the way. Tell us a little bit about Unmask the Violence Masquerade on October 28th.
Absolutely. So the Unmask the Violence Masquerade is something that is very, very near and dear to my heart. Reason being so is because, like I told you previously, our programming is mainly both based upon things that we have been through, people in the organization, things I've seen. I don't ever want to talk about something that I really don't know about.
Right.
However, I do have, people who can come in, but it's just not the same.
Right.
So, back in May of 2016, one of my very, very good friends was murdered due to domestic violence in a homicide-suicide execution. And it was almost immediately that I felt compelled to do something.
Right.
Not only as a former victim, not only as a past abuser myself, because when I was younger, I dealt with the same, and I ultimately became the abuser, and then the cycle just went back around and I became abused again, and so the cycle just continues if you don't break it.
Right.
And so it's always been a very touchy subject for me, because I know so many people who have been through it, and they are forced into this mind frame of not having that independence. And I think the independence really comes within being able to speak out against it. And my friend, who is no longer here with us, she cannot speak out for herself. So I felt that it is an obligation of mine, being woman enough, to say, hey, I've been here in both sides. I have been the one to, be over here acting crazy. And then I've also been the one to, have not seen the signs. And I teach on this all the time. And, I get so many questions about, well, how did you go back to it? And how does this, why didn't you just up and leave? So, I don't want to get too into what we're going to be discussing at this year's masquerade. However, this year we will be discussing more in depth than we have the previous 2 years. We'll be discussing more in depth, getting really down to unmasking our own violence, and how I went from abuse to the abuser, and how I think that it's even my place to speak on this at this point. And, how Edie Newsome, who wrote the book Tried in the Fire, how she escaped, death in my eyes in multiple situations. And, Amira Mandy, Andrea McKnight, she'll be coming in speaking on sexual family violence and, things that Amira Mandy specializes in, and, just all sorts. And we will talk about how this all ties in together.
Right.
We have a very, very impactful event coming up October 28th. And this is going to be like no other year. This is our third annual.
Okay.
And we are, anticipating anywhere from 250 to 300 people.
Wow.
So we are very excited. We are hoping for a good turnout. We are, although we have the Milan space, we are looking to move to a larger room because tickets are selling very, very fast. And we are just really looking to make a difference. I can't tell you how many individuals came to me after the last event. We had at the Milan last year as well. But I can't tell you how many people emailed me or called me the next day after the event and said, I've been being domestically abused all these years, and I had no clue that was domestic abuse.
Wow.
I had not a clue.
And wow. And sometimes even I'm going to piggyback off of what you said. Sometimes when we think about women don't even sometimes realize that they're abusing.
Yes.
Very
much so.
I was told that. I said,
Yes.
do you realize that when you're degrading, when you're downplaying, when you're dogging out, when you're dishonoring, disrespecting your spouse or your child who is a boy or a young man, do you realize you're abusing them if you do it so consistently the way you are? They said, I never realized that. I said, you can't be married to someone and degrade, devalue, dog out, and disrespect them as a habit.
Absolutely.
That's hard to receive.
And I think it ties into not necessarily intentionally. There are a lot of people who don't intentionally do this, but they're uneducated on the matter.
Right.
They're uneducated as to what domestic violence really consists of. They're uneducated that, oh, he just checks my phone 4 times a day. That's not a sign.
Right,
Jealousy is not a sign. They don't understand that all these things that they tend to just sweep under the rug as, oh, that's kind of cute. That's kind of, that it leads up to these tragic events that can ultimately take an individual's life.
Yeah.
And at one point or another, and I'm not saying that everything can be prevented, but there are certain situations where, individuals can know the signs. And, like my friend who was murdered, she was only with this individual for 4 months.
Oh, my goodness.
So, yeah, for her, that wasn't enough time to know much about him, you know?
She didn't know anything.
So, yeah. So,
4 months, that's wow.
Yeah, so it's just this event is one of our largest of the year, and it's so important. It's so important that
yes, it is.
Us as women, us as individuals, us as community members, that we are transparent with those who are watching and listening, because we can't, expect them to understand or relate when we're, behind closed doors. We're out here at these events with our perfect dresses and our perfect hair and our perfect nails and our perfect rings, and we have a perfect marriage. And no sooner than we leave that event, we're afraid for our lives and afraid and covering up with shades, and we're being talked to down to and degraded and there are so many different things that we'll be discussing this year, but it is very important. I can't express enough how important this event is to me.
Well, I want the men to know, because again, I'm going to capitalize off this opportunity. Men Enuff Incorporated. Okay.
And absolutely. And a lot of people don't they think that domestic violence is all women.
Right.
They think that it's only women. It's only women. It's absolutely not.
Well, we need to understand that. And a lot of times, like you said before, Deidra, a lot of times we involve ourselves and we're in a situation unconsciously. We don't even know sometimes we're doing things wrong. We think we're doing the right thing, and we think what we're doing is okay. And the same rules apply. Men, we need to get out to this event, Unmask the Violence Masquerade. We need to get out here and support this event also, because we need to get a better understanding of what people are thinking, what women are thinking, how they're feeling during certain times, what women are going, you get me fired up over here, what women are going through in certain situations, so we can get an understanding. When we can't provide for our home, it brings stress to the family. When it brings stress to the family, it creates unconsciously some form of negativity in the atmosphere, which could lead to violence, neglect. It could lead to ultimately death. Unmask the Violence Masquerade 2018, October 28th. Where? The Milan Banquet Hall, 651 Lakehurst Road in Waukegan, Illinois. For more information, you can do just like I did. Pick up the phone and call 224-656-0116. That's 224-656-0116, or simply visit womenenuff.org. And that's WOMENENUFF. I've been listening. WOMENENUFF.org. www.womenenuff.org. You can contact, as you can tell, she makes herself available so she can speak to you directly. Deidra Collins, president, founder, Women Enuff Incorporated. Again, October 28th, Milan Banquet Hall, 651 Lakehurst Road in Waukegan, 224-656-0116, womenenuff.org. I can't thank you enough, Deidra, for taking time out to speak with us on today. I know for a fact that
I appreciate it.
Oh, God's going to bless us. I can't wait, because I would love to, and I kid you not, I am not going to place a price tag on it. I am not going to ask you, give me $1,000, I'll be there. No, I'm going to ask you if it's okay for me to be there, because what I would like to do, and I'm saying it publicly for a reason, I'd like to be there and live stream this event in its entirety as a blessing to you and as a blessing to those that may be listening around the world, not just here in Waukegan, Lake Forest, Lake Bluff, Gurnee, but there are going to be millions of women around the world that is going to want to hear the information that is going to be shared at the Milan Banquet Hall on October 28th.
Absolutely, and we are honored to even have you extend those services to us. We are just so very thankful, and we absolutely would love to have you on that date.
It is a done deal. God bless you, Deidra. Thank you so much. Am I saying your name right?
You are, Deidra, correct.
Okay, because if I wouldn't have said it right, you would have interrupted me and said, that's not how you say my name, right?
You know, my dad named me, and he doesn't even say my name right. So.
Oh, wow. I'm cool then. All right, well, again, womenenuff.org, October 28th. Don't forget, listen, men, women, go ahead and make plans. There's going to be an awesome event. There's going to be a lot going on, door prizes, raffles, vendors, advocacy, resources, victim statements, live entertainment, dinner, giveaways, guest speakers, GMAP, Pastor Kevin. We're going to be there. And if you just want to receive prayer, I'll pray for you right there on the spot.
Absolutely.
Listen, we all have to be inspired, motivated, and encouraged in some way, shape, form, or fashion. And many times I understand prayer changes things. So don't take those prayers lightly, okay? I'll be on hand to pray with and pray for you if you're one of those individuals that are going, that have gone, or is currently going through something right now. We want to be there for you. So again, we expect to see your face in the place. Unmask the Violence Masquerade 2018, October 28th at the Milan Banquet Hall. Once again, that address, that location, 651 Lakehurst Road in Waukegan. 224-656-0116, or you can simply visit the website, www.womenenuff.org, WOMENENUFF. We shall see you there. Deidra, thank you so much for joining us today. We look forward to talking to you again real soon, okay?
You as well, sir. Thank you.
All right, God bless. Take care.
God bless. Bye-bye.
My name is Edie Newsome. I am the Alderman, 5th Ward in the City of Waukegan, and I endorse Carla Wyckoff for County Clerk because I believe that she is the most qualified for this position. I go back almost 20 years with Carla. I was introduced to her by my husband. He worked in the State's Attorney's Office. She has always been a down-to-earth person. I've noticed that she's grown in the ranks at the State's Attorney's Office and has a heart for the people. As a county clerk, I think that person should be very accessible to the community, be on top of the elections, get qualified people in the office. I've visited the county clerk's office on many occasions as an elected official to take care of some of my business, and found that you need to have the right people in there that are knowledgeable. I think Carla would be able to step into that position and do it very well. She's been in a position on a county level, so I know that she is knowledgeable of what happens in the county clerk's office. I've seen Carla at several community events, being accessible to the people, letting them know who she is and what she's about and what she's able to do as a county clerk. Once you have met Carla, you know that she is the right choice for county clerk. She's a warm person. She has always treated me with respect, down to earth, like she knows me, like family. And once you come to know Carla, you'll be treated as family as well. She's a wonderful person.